33 points created in under 20 minutes. Not scored, created. There is a critical difference between a player who fills a stat line and a player who generates offense at a systemic level, and what Caitlin Clark did against Senegal in her Team USA debut proves she operates somewhere above both categories entirely. Welcome back, and if you have been following the 2028 Olympic guard rotation conversation, tonight's performance just handed you the clearest data point the debate has produced so far. This was not a tune-up against a soft opponent. This was a live demonstration. Caitlin Clark posted 17 points and 12 assists in 19 minutes of game time, finished with a plus 35 rating, and was directly responsible for roughly 33 total points created for Team USA. Her own scoring, combined with the three-point baskets her passing set up in real time. That number, highest generated in under 20 minutes of basketball, is the headline that the box score buries. If this breakdown is giving you the angle that the highlight reels are skipping over, hit that like button. It tells us you want us to keep pulling the thread on stories that actually have stakes. Now let's establish exactly what happened on that floor. Many of you have been asking what Caitlin Clark looks like in a true Team USA environment, surrounded by elite talent on an international stage with qualifying implications. The answer is she doesn't just fit the system, she rewires it. From the moment she stepped on the floor, the tempo of the game shifted. Not gradually, immediately. Players were already sprinting before the ball cleared half court. Ryan Howard was attacking downhill in full flight. Paige Buchers was pushing ahead on the wing before the previous possession even finished. Kelsey Plum was finding open space on the perimeter because she understood what was coming. All of it triggered by one shared instinct across the roster. If you run with Caitlin Clark, a perfectly timed pass is already on its way. This is the distinction between a facilitator and a tempo conductor. A facilitator moves the ball efficiently. A tempo conductor changes the fundamental operating speed of an entire team. Clark did the latter. Defenses barely had time to set their feet before possessions were concluding. The pace wasn't fast in a reckless way. It was fast and surgical. Every pass landed in stride. Every decision arrived a beat before the defense could close the gap. Now, she did finish with 3 turnovers. Let's actually examine those rather than letting them sit as a criticism. 2 came in the final 10 seconds of a game that was already decided by a blowout margin. The outcome had long since been determined. The third was a full-court pass to Angel Reese that nearly connected, a play most guards would not even attempt, let alone execute to near completion. That is not carelessness. That is a player operating with a level of confidence and vision that belongs on a different scale. Context collapses the turnover argument entirely. What the turnovers cannot collapse is the plus 35. In 19 minutes on the floor, the gap between Team USA and Senegal grew by 35 points while she was active. Projecting that rate across a full 40 minutes, which rotations make unrealistic, but the math still tells you something important, produces margins that would belong in record discussions. That kind of efficiency is not noise, it is signal, and it raises a question that nobody on the broadcast was willing to ask out loud. What is this offense without her? Let's talk about what this roster looks like when the answer to that question plays out in real time, because tonight it did. Drop your read on this in the comments right now. Do you think Caitlin Clark locks up a starting spot for the 2028 Olympics based on what you saw tonight? Or does the committee still have a real argument? We want to know where you stand. Ryan Howard deserves genuine recognition here. If someone argued that Howard was the individual scorer of the game, that case holds up. She was aggressive, physical, and effective throughout, keeping sustained offensive pressure on a defense that had no answer for the pace being pushed. But there is a distinction between leading in scoring and leading in offense. And that distinction carries real weight when the conversation turns to roster construction and Olympic starting lineups. Kelsey Plum was functional. She played within the system without creating problems. And on a roster this deep, that is sometimes the role. Chelsea Gray struggled. The rhythm wasn't there. and several decisions felt disconnected from the tempo the rest of the offense was trying to sustain. Paige Buecher's came in visibly tight. The stage was large, the moment was real, and she was pressing early. Her offense took time to find its footing. But what stood out even during that cold stretch was her defensive effort. She was guarding full court, pressuring ball handlers and doing the work that holds possessions together when scoring isn't coming. That is maturity. She eventually settled, and once she did, she started to look exactly like the player the basketball world already knows she is. Angel Reese's assignment was physical: defense, rebounding, paint presence. 4 fouls in limited minutes actually reflects how active and physical she was near the basket. She fulfilled her role. Erica Hamby converted several easy transition baskets, which the pace of play manufactured almost automatically. Now here is where the real story lives. There was a stretch in the third quarter, veteran-heavy lineup, experienced pieces, players who have been in this program for years, and the offense visibly stalled. The spacing narrowed, the energy dropped. The tempo that had made the first half look effortless evaporated. You could see it happen in real time, and more importantly, you could feel why. The contrast between that lineup and what the offense looks like when Clark is directing, it was not subtle, it was stark. You cannot unsee it once you have seen it, and that contrast is exactly what should be driving the 2028 Olympic conversation right now. If this kind of analysis is what keeps bringing you back, consider joining the channel as a member. Your support is what makes it possible to keep covering the stories that deserve more than a 2-minute highlight package. The 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles have been on the horizon for long enough that the roster speculation has gone through multiple cycles. Who starts? Who leads the offense? How elite guards coexist on one team? Tonight did not just add data to that conversation, it restructured it. When Clark controls the tempo, the offense becomes a different organism. Pace, spacing, decision-making speed, transition efficiency, all of it elevates in ways that are visible on tape and measurable in the numbers. 33 points created, plus 35, 12 assists, 19 minutes, every single data point from tonight points in the same direction. The committee argument for that starting guard spot just got significantly harder to make. What happens next in this qualifying tournament is going to matter more than most people are treating it right now. The performances are stacking, the data is accumulating, and the questions about how this roster gets built for Los Angeles are only going to get louder. Subscribe and hit the bell, because when those answers start surfacing, you are going to want to already be here. See you in the next one.